So I'm going to talk specifically about my division at IPC Connect, part of IPC Media, which produces brands aimed specifically at mass market women and young women. And I'm going to talk to you specifically about a brand we produce called Good to Know and how we've managed to leverage this free and paid for space into a virtuous circle. But I'm going to give you a bit of background first. So in my division, we reach 12.5 million women in total through both our print and our digital brands. And why we're successful is we keep incredibly close to these women. We have a panel of 7,000 women whom we speak to on a regular basis about their lifestyles, their challenges, their opinions on issues of the day, and we monitor trends closely as their lives really do shift and change. And we've seen that particularly since the credit crunch. There are some quite major changes going on in these women's lives. All the brands and content we produce on whatever platform, whether free or paid for, whether through print, online, mobile games, events, products for sale, are developed by placing the consumer at the heart of absolutely everything we do and understanding what content they wish to consume, on which platform, where, how, when, what they're prepared to pay. That everything we do starts with the consumer. So in terms of the question, operating within a dual free and paid content environment, how are we facing this challenge? I think that's the key point. You have to keep close to your consumers and understand what they really want. To touch on Rupert Murdoch, I completely disagree that he can charge for news content because he feels like doing it because everything's a bit challenging and difficult for the newspaper industry. He may be able to charge his audience for services, but I disagree entirely. He'll be able to just force news content that is ubiquitous, some very high quality free news content in this country. He needs to think about what the consumer really wants and what services they're prepared to pay for. So just to talk a bit more about mass market women, perhaps contrary to popular opinion, are avid users of digital media. They came quite late to the party, but when they arrived, they rapidly became confident users of online and mobile. 62% of them are online. They remain the fastest growing consumer group online. They're confident shoppers, seekers of information and entertainment, players of online games, and I touch on something that they're very prepared to pay for already, and that is playing games to win money. That's a service. It's not us producing a piece of content. What we do is add value by wrapping a fun and entertaining experience around that service. So I just thought I would throw that in. Facebook is their #2 visited site after Google. 10 million of them are on Facebook. That's just truly staggering, and that's been a landslide shift over the last 12 months. At the same time, magazines have remained absolutely huge for this audience. Women's Weeklies are the biggest category in the UK newsstand. We sell 467 million copies of Women's Weeklies magazines. That's about £500 million worth of revenue. So the question really is, why are magazines so huge at a time when these consumers are also avidly consuming digital media? Well, it goes back to understanding your consumers, and it touches on something Ben alluded to earlier. Different platforms provide different experiences. Our job is to understand what consumers want and give them what they want to consume. Ultimately, that's the way to drive revenues. So I'm going to talk specifically how we've addressed this with Good to Know. Goodtoknow.co.uk is a site that we launched back in 2007, aimed specifically at mass market women. And it's also become a successful monthly recipes magazine. And this really shows how the dual environment can be a virtuous circle. We really went into extensive research, mining our audience and mining insights to understand what exactly Good to Know should be. We did lots of usability testing. We also talked to advertisers and understood that they were actually ready to start targeting mass market women online. Why they want to do that, and again, you may not know, 70% of all UK purchase decisions are made by mass market women in the UK. They're a hugely influential consumer group. Through research, we learnt straight away that expanding our digital offering by leveraging our print magazine brands was absolutely not the way to go. That's not what women wanted to consume online. They wanted a site that gave them practical advice and entertainment. It was about a community, centred around recipes, family and fun. And that's exactly what we launched for them. And it's been extremely successful. Good to Know now has over 1 million unique users and continues to see triple-digit growth, in particular with its recipes channel, which is up nearly 300% year on year. Ad revenues are up 68% year on year, and that's versus a market that's actually down 5%. Why is that? Because quite simply, the site targets users in the way they want to be spoken to and provides a great environment for advertisers to talk to them. This site makes money. The latest innovation is to reverse monthly print magazine out of Good to Know and its recipes channel, and for the first time ever, a digital brand has become a newsstand brand in the truest sense of the word, Good to Know Recipes, which launched in January. Copy sales are 30% over target on the first 2 issues. It's really been phenomenally successful. The magazine is giving site users more of what they want in one place, but I think importantly this is a genuine virtuous circle. The magazine is bringing new people to the site that have never seen the site before. Searches for Good to Know Recipes on Google have increased by 167% and searches for Good to Know by 36%. Inbound links have increased hugely, and as you probably know, I'm sure those are given very high ranking by Google, following the PR coverage that we got when we launched the magazine, which clearly drives some more traffic to the site, again a virtuous circle. Users are commenting on recipes on the site, saying they found the site by buying the magazine, and we're getting fan mail. The magazine is already profitable. So, overall, this has been a great virtuous circle for us, and we're driving revenues and profits because we understand exactly what consumers want, irrespective of platform, and we deliver it to them.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Fiona. Nicholas, any thoughts?
A few, probably. Thank you for the invitation. It's really nice to be here. And there's always that moment of terror when you're on a panel, when you look to your left and you look to your right and you see really well-crafted, thoroughly written scripts. My eyes are so bad that I have to do everything in 18-point, and I've got a few key words here, so I hope they're going to come back to me. As you probably gathered, most of my career was spent in journalism as a writer, a sub-editor, and then as an editor. And I came relatively late, 1996, I think. The BBC sent me to business school to become a publisher. And so usually at gatherings like this, I'm the sort of light relief, I'm the fluffy one, but you've had 15 minutes of Ben already, so you know, have quite a lot of fluff today. What can I say? Well, BBC Magazines, we're third largest magazine publisher in Britain, both by value and volume. We've got probably 50-odd magazines. We've got joint venture businesses in India, where we publish the largest women's magazine, Femina, and also the largest Bollywood magazine, Filmfare. We've got joint ventures in Australia. We've got over 60 licenses around the world in 53 countries, I think. I get my 50s and 60s and stuff muddled up, but that sounds sort of right. And in fact, BBC Magazines is something of a misnomer because, you know, we're involved in making apps. We'll be there with product when the iPad launches. We organise live consumer events to get close to our readers. So we do Gardener's World Live, Good Food Live, and we like to hang out with our readers as much as possible. Our strategy is very simple. We believe in building brands, and as Ben was saying, we secondly build brands that we believe can travel well across all sorts of different platforms. Our third strategic plank is stuff that has BBC-ness to it. Our remit is to link up with BBC intellectual property, link up with BBC values, and our fourth strategic plank is global. Everything we do in future has to have a global dimension to it because, as the name of our company, BBC Worldwide, suggests, we are a multimedia global company. Very briefly, a minute on each before the young lady here raises her finger. I think you had 3 questions that you were going to tackle here, so I'll give you a minute of what I think about each. Range and quality of content for readers. Well, I truly believe that this is the greatest time to be working in media, the most exciting time. I'm absolutely and thoroughly positive about everything, be it free or fee. I just think this is a great time. The thing I'm most jealous of is you beginning your careers at a moment like this, when my career begins to come to a close. So good luck, it's going to be a terrific adventure. I would say that probably because, hard as it might be for you to believe, in my youth I was a comrade, a member of the Socialist Workers' Party, and was given the responsibility of selling on the street corner outside the Walls factory in Neasden a magazine called Chingali, which wasn't very useful for me because I didn't speak Urdu. Chingali, I think, was from the word spark, you know, Lenin's great idea.